What's up, fellas? We back with another episode of Cree Education, episode 4. We coming to y'all with hits after hits after hits. Man, I could have been a rapper, but that's neither here nor there. Let's get straight into it, man. Today, I want to talk about influence, man. It goes so many. It's so big. Influence. We're influenced every day, and I just want to tap into influence, man. What influences us from social media to just everything, because it starts as a child. And it goes on from there. But I'm your boy, Steff Weezy.
I'm Dede. You already know me, Dede from Dede's Products.
Mm-hmm.
You know, shout out. Hey, shout out, quick shout out real quick, man, to my partner from Sweat Equity, man, Kunle. Happy birthday, brother.
Happy birthday, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I guess I'm the plug. They call me El Plaga, but it really doesn't matter who I am. So let's just get this rolling.
Good. Let's get it, man. So
always short and sweet.
Let's get it, man. So influence, man. I was thinking the other day, and I was just like, man, everywhere we go, we're influenced by something, or, you know, we're influencing someone, and the importance of that. And I had to be aware of it, because I was thinking about it, like, man, when I win, other people win too. It's like, you know, people are watching me. For example, I grew up without a father, as most of y'all know, but I have a little brother, and he's watching my every move. So he's like, being aware of that, I'm like, man, I'm influencing him. When I win, he sees that, and it encourages him and inspires him to do more. And I'm like, man, I just thought about that. I was like, man, it's when you do something, whether it's social media or whatever, you gotta be aware of somebody's watching you. And where does that influence come from? You know what I'm saying? It's like, what influenced you to do whatever you're doing? Like even podcasts, I'm just watching it and I'm like, I can do that.
Right.
You know, I was influenced by brothers that I watched, and I was like, hey, we get into this room and we giving our knowledge, because we all have a lot of knowledge
that matters,
and we all have our own experience in life, and it's great when we come together and we chop it up about it. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to tap in.
I mean, for me,
on that,
it's you know, yeah, you have a lot of people behind you, especially when you have all this clout in the world, and you know, people watching your every step, whether it's friends or foes, because the haters watch too, you know.
Yeah.
And they're influenced too. We influence haters as well here. So I have a child now, my son D4. You know, I see him, man, and I literally almost see myself in some of the decisions that I make, and how they, like, I don't know if they're hereditary or you know what I'm saying, DNA structured or what, but it's like, man, I thought the same kind of way, and then you're like, but then when you grow, even in our seats today, as you grow, you're able to show them something different, so their experience can be different than ours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure. I was influenced by this. So growing up, I thought this person was my father, and come to find out he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? But as a kid, I was believed that he was in the NBA. So as an adolescent, I was chasing this dream of my dad's in the NBA. This is what I used to go to class about and brag about. Like, man, my dad played in the NBA. All of it was a lie, and I was influenced by that. And, you know, I grew up hooping. Like, dog, this is my life. Like, I'm going to get to the NBA, you know what I'm saying? And that whole influence shifted my whole world. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, even speaking about that, I was just talking to a couple of our homies today, you know, some of them overseas. Shout out EK.
Shout out EK, yeah.
Overseas. And they was just like, so many of these guys think everybody overseas is living this life, luxury. You don't really even know the sacrifices. You don't know, you know, that half of these guys are making $400 a month. You know what I'm saying? Because it just looks like glitz and glamour. Yeah. But you're really playing because you don't have nothing else to do in your life. You've never learned, or you've never experienced anything, or you don't have the team around you to show you different avenues of creativity, of being an entrepreneur or creating your own lane. You know, you're stuck in thinking this is the only way.
Yeah.
Now those basketball players are hurting because they're like, if they stop hooping,
what do you do?
It's over.
So you know,
Plaga.
You know, this this whole thing is a little bit deeper than what we think it is. You know, there's an element of it that is nature, and there's an element of it that's nurture, right? And it's deeply in your hemoglobin. That's blood.
That's blood?
Out there.
I was about to say, what's that?
That's blood. That's blood. So that's the proteins of blood. You know, I'll do all that science shit a little bit later. But what I want to hit you with is that, you know, there's red and blue blood, right? When it travels through your veins, it's usually traveling at a blue level because it's deoxygenated. It doesn't have the influence of oxygen. And then when you see it turn red, when it's coming out of your skin, it's saturated with the influence of oxygen.
Getting hit by that.
But see, the level gets even deeper.
Let's
because
get deep.
so you got red and blue blood, right? But it actually goes back even further. I mean, what do we represent in politics, right? What do we got? It's red and blue. It's a battlefield, right? You know, and you know, every time we vote, it's on a Tuesday, and Tuesday it's the day of battle. So you have Monday, which is affiliated with the moon. Tuesday is the day of battle. And look at the Spanish word for battle.
See,
or Spanish word for Tuesday.
Okay, yeah, we get
all right?
deep. I love it.
So,
I'm learning. Yep, let's get.
So what I'm trying to get to is that, you know, you have these battles, right? And influence is a battle of the mind, right? So you got your Republican versus Democrat, and we think we created something. We really didn't create shit when we had Blood versus Crips. And that's another red versus blue. So when you start to look at how you're influenced, you got to ask yourself, am I really doing this because I'm initiating this? Or is it something that's in my blood? Is there something that's being manipulated that's already in my blood? And now I'm being manipulated one way or another to this group versus that group. And now I got to choose a side. And then right
So real.
is a perspective.
Yeah.
Right versus wrong.
Right.
What?
What is right?
Right is the only thing you think that you feel is right.
And when
Your
we get
world.
into conflicts, we think we're right. But at the end of the day, that's just because we're on the side that we're on.
Right.
How do we know that we're not the one that's the culprit? You know, when we get into wars and things of that nature. So influence is deep. It's really deeper than just the people that we're surrounded by or the environments that are created around us. It's really deep and psychological. And so we should definitely touch on those points today. I know you want to hit a few things, but I had
That's
to,
dope.
you know, I had to do what I do. I had to throw that in there.
Let's go. I love it.
I don't like light and fluffy shit. Let's get to the real raw meat of it.
Yeah, let's get to it because it makes me re-question everything. Like, you know, like what if we've been lied to our whole life, which I feel we have been. Like what if we were just taught wrong the whole way through? You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
Like we gotta
you
gotta unlearn things you learned.
I've recently
Like,
been introduced to this perspective. So if I'm looking for you to teach me something and you teach me what you thought was the best way you could teach me, and I take that and then I find out that that's not the best way to go about it. Is it your fault?
Okay.
Just like we were talking about the other week about credit. It's like I can't fault people for not knowing. Like this is the way they taught you from what they learned. It's like, no, this is how you do it.
So
you get what I'm saying?
You sitting in that seat, you should be more open to new perspectives.
Yeah.
As saying, now I'm your protege who you've taught. And I'm telling you, well, that wasn't the right way. That it didn't help me that way. This other way helped me. Now you should be more open to the fact of, well, let me learn what that other way was as well, because I thought I did it right.
Yeah.
But there is other ways to be right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And but you also gotta take into account who influenced them and who made them feel that right was right.
He always going deep, man.
I gotta do that.
But it makes sense. It always does.
You know,
it gets there.
we can take it from our parents. We could take it from teachers. You know, when I teach history to some of the youth that I teach, I ask them first, before I teach you, do you want the lesson of history or do you want his story? Because there's a difference. See, I feel like all of our lives we've been taught his story. We don't know about our people. We don't know about the Gullah Wars. We don't know about true indigenous tribes. And the fact that, did we make 530 trips across the ocean? That takes a year. Last time I did the math, that takes 530 years. Just if we made one trip at a time with a few boats. How many slaves made it to this land? See, his story versus history, that's been a propaganda that's kind of led to. So you gotta go deep, not only looking deep into yourself to find out the origins of who you are, but now you gotta look deeper into other people's influences too, figuring out where they came from, what they're about, where are they from? before we start making judgments, because that's typically what happens. People like to pass judgment first, and it becomes emotional and irrational, and we can't find common ground.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah, that's deep, because when you get into an argument with sometimes it's like, man, there's something behind that. Why are you the way that you are?
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? That comes from an understanding level. You have to have an open mind of like, man, he's lashing out. He ain't mad at me. There's something way bigger than this. Right. You know what I'm saying? I come in here hostile. What you mean? Put the headphones on. Chill out. You know, it's like, whoa, what's going on? Something at the crib. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's deep. You got to know. Yeah, that's deep, man.
You know,
go for it.
No, I was just saying, just because I feel like a lot of people in those perspectives don't want to, I don't know if they don't want to see the other ways to do things, because what works for them may not work for the others, but they're teaching what worked for them. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, it makes me go back to like a communication conversation I had, when it's like, if we're talking and we're arguing, do I care about how just giving you the message, or do I actually care about you understanding why I'm upset? Because that may require me to say more things or go deeper into why it is I'm upset than the fact of me just being mad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, do you care about how you say it, or do you care about them actually understanding what you say? Because understanding is the most common ground in communication.
Yeah.
And see, you're touching on several levels of things that have to happen. I think sometimes we take for granted what our bodies and our minds can do. We are living, breathing processors, if you want to compare it to a computer. And we are constantly taking information into our hard drives and downloading information.
True.
And it's the way that it's delivered. Yeah. Is it delivered in a corrupted file? Or is it a smooth transaction? You know, did we get a, is it encrypted? Did we get a blockchain? Are we having a blockage in communication? Do we understand the code behind it, the code? And that brings me to what I'm trying to say here is frequency. The reason why we allow certain types of influence into our lives is because we resonate with certain types of frequency, certain types of energy. You know, there's a group trauma. The reason why brothers end up joining gangs and cliques and things is because their mentality has been so overloaded with elements of trauma that those wavelengths, they're seeking that frequency, and it originates in pain. So because that pain is so overwhelming, so triumphant within them, you want to be surrounded with other people who understand that pain, who emit the frequency of that pain, whether or not the vibrations are low or high. This isn't the podcast to talk about that. We'll get into that when we talk about chakras. Gotcha. But nevertheless, people are going to gravitate to what they feel is the right level of energy for them.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where we create family. That's where we create cliques. That's where we create groups. That's where we create cohorts.
But that's when people are like, oh, that's too much. Well, that's too much for me. Because it might be too much energy. It might be too much frequency. It might be too much, vulnerability to offer up, because communicating is making yourself vulnerable. You have to let someone know how you actually feel. You know what I mean? So I think those are vibrations and wavelengths that people are afraid to tap into.
Because the energy sometimes is coming from an unknown origin. So think about it. Think about the times. Let's get into something practical. When you argue, I'm married. So when I argue or have a disagreement with my lady, you know, she's coming at me at a frequency that she understands. You know, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. You ever heard that saying?
Yeah.
So she's she's speaking, she's speaking the language of Venus. And I'm on this other planet that, I'm putting my foot down. I'm doing this huffing and this puffing, and I'm standing on my manhood. But that's a frequency that we don't understand, but it's also goes back to that origin that I just talked about, that blood. We also crave it. We crave, the opposite gender. We crave that interaction, that communication too. As much as it gets on our nerves, it also something that completes us. Yep. That's why we fit together like puzzle pieces. If you know what I'm saying, I ain't gotta draw pictures, do I?
I get you. That's deep. What you to tap in about, you talked about the mind and like we're computer programs, like things are downloaded into us.
Absolutely.
Where I see people like they're influenced, like not influenced, but they're stuck in a memory that they went through, past trauma, and they're replaying it. And whenever I talk to him, I'm like, dang, you're replaying this moment vividly. Like, this is what you downloaded into your mind. This
like an
is
8-track.
It's you constantly talking about this, and you're going through that same emotion. Like, this happened already, but you're replaying that, and you're going through the same hurt. It's like
every time you never
what's
growing
up with
from
that?
it.
Like, yeah, it's like, dang, this is where I see a lot of people. They stuck, like they're paused. You know what I'm saying? And I'm the type of person that just keeps going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like hooping. Like, I missed that shot, whatever. I'm not worried about that. I'm gonna make the next one.
But speaking on that, one thing I've seen, and being in my position now, you know, I played ball for so many years overseas, bro, and I've seen so many things. It's like I wish I would have took time to soak those moments in. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm very similar to you. Come on, bro. Yesterday's that's done. We got to turn. We got to do it today. You know what I'm saying? Don't even worry about it. But it's like I now have, you know, recently been awoken to now being in the moment. You know what I mean? Because sometimes I try to find myself in trying to remember something like, man, I kind of remember like it was a dope experience, but I wish I could have it more. And I'm like, I didn't soak that moment in. I was just like, because tomorrow is going to be, you know, now being in the moment, it makes it more real.
This is really no different though when you're talking about, you know, that person who's repeating their cycle, whatever's in their mind. It's very synonymous to what you deal with in the world of science and physics. You know, you have potential energy, you have kinetic energy. Potential energy is the energy that's stored, and kinetic energy is the energy that flows when it's in motion. So but you have to build up enough potential energy. And I'm talking about this trauma. You have to build up enough of the right type of frequency, the right type of energy to get over the hurdle, to get over that obstruction that will help push you over that instance so you can begin to free flow life again. So just like if you were imagine pushing a cart up a hill and there's a rock there, you don't have enough energy to push over that rock unless you gain enough momentum or enough balance to push and then go over that rock, and you'll be able to push up that hill again. I didn't say the battle was going to be any easier. I didn't say the hill was going to get any easier, but you're able to get over that with the right amount of energy. Well, the same type of phenomenon has to happen when we're talking about someone's trauma or when we're talking about somebody getting over the bad influences in their life. You have to get enough of the right energy. You have to compound the right energy to be able to overcome those stumbling blocks. And eventually, it's not smooth though. You still got to go up that hill.
Still going to be work. Yeah.
It's still going to be work. But you're progressing in the right direction versus being stuck on that rock that you were stuck on. That's synonymous of what those traumatic thoughts can be in your life, is that rock in the road.
That's deep. It's deep. I love it. We're going to switch gears here a second. We're going to talk about, I feel we should talk about influencing on the social media level. What goes in? What are we watching all the time? What are you sitting down doing? What goes to it? And when social media, there's so much stuff. It seems like it's like social media is a tool. You could use it for good or you could use it for bad. Say, you know what I'm saying? It's like, dang, there's so much good information out here, but then there's so much BS. We're influenced every day by what pops up in the screen.
But that's perspective again. Because someone who has an OnlyFans page, they may feel like, hey, me promoting myself is me helping myself as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
How am I? How's these shaking these cheeks? You know what I'm saying? Feeling like, you know, how is that bad if I'm promoting myself and I've been taught to do it on my own and be my own entrepreneur, but it's like the right type of publicity, the right type of promotion. The right type of frequency, you know, brings the right type of energy.
And that's what you're surrounded by is like what I see people. I was like, I could tell what type of music you listen to by the way you walk.
Facts.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know where you're influenced from. I know I can just guess and say, hey, I know who your favorite rapper is, huh? Yep. Shoot 'em up, bang, bang. Little Gotti, right? I figured that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I can tell.
Yeah.
Like, this is what you're influenced by. This is what you see. This is what this is pretty much all you know.
For sure.
In a sense, you know?
But we also are experiencing a phenomenon where when you talk about social media or anything that has to do with a device, you're stuck on that. You're getting caught up in a high because it's about being the dopamine. So when you see so many likes on something that you post, it gives you that fix. You just said use social media. Think about the words you just used without even realizing you used them. You're using social media. People are using narcotics to get a dopamine fix. People are using sex to get gratification, to make themselves feel better about themselves. People are using achievement to try and fill that void of serotonin that they're not getting in their bloodstream. The serotonin actually is a neurochemical that makes you feel fulfilled. So when you're talking about social media and influence, everybody's really trying to give somebody their next fix. You're no different than a fucking pusher.
I'm a fiend right now, ain't I? Damn.
But hey,
social media fiend, because I get up and I need that fix. This is deep.
and everybody, look, everybody's susceptible.
Yep.
In some ways, we just have varying degrees. It's no different than a person who needs morphine because they're in pain. But when does it go from being a need to satisfy pain to being an addiction in your vein? You gotta look at it. You gotta really examine what you're doing and how you're doing it. And what I would advise is it doesn't matter who the influences are in your life, because those can be addictions too. Sometimes we're addicted to toxic people. Yes. And therefore we see toxic gravitations on social media, these trolls and these hate groups. And then we like to put stigmas on people. I was about to say motherfucker. I guess I said it now. So I'll say it how I want to say it. So you have all these dynamics that occur within this thing we call society, and that creates pods of uniformity. I met some people, and I just want to say this point. I met some people who said, well, I'm a nonconformist. I don't conform to anything. I'm like, you dumb motherfucker. You just conform to nonconformity.
Facts.
What are we on right now? Really?
Yeah.
We can't deny our desire and our human design of wanting to be a part of something. We just have to now be careful, because now we have mechanisms that allow us to connect in seconds. We don't have to work for relationships anymore.
For sure.
You literally can go online and swipe left and swipe right, and then all of a sudden you are connected.
Ka-ching.
And I'm glad that you said ka-ching, because that's all it is. It's a fucking transaction. So now we have a society full of transaction relational connections that have no substance, no fiber, no being, no depth. And then we look at each other and wonder what's wrong with one another and why we're so fucked up and we need more counseling and more drugs. The cycle continues. Now we're getting deep, because that goes into the origins of this shit.
Yeah.
And you think this happened just overnight? You think this wasn't something that was designed for a reason? I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but I got a theory about a conspiracy. I'll tell you that much.
That's layers of deep.
That boy putting the words together, ain't he?
Man, it gets deep, man. It gets deep like that.
Yeah.
Like
I opened for Hammer when I was 10.
Oh, man. Having Hammer Day flashbacks, boy.
Man.
Uh-oh.
It gets deep, man. It's so dope, because I'm always questioning my own thoughts, Like I'll get on social media, for example, and I'll look at something and I'll be like, man, somebody will post something about like attention, but I'm like, you just posted that to get attention.
For sure.
You get what I'm saying?
For sure.
But I'm like, man, people are so like
but how about this? So now you being that influential person, how do you feel knowing that you can change the perspective of so many people at the press of a button?
I gotta hold myself accountable to a lot of things, it makes me it makes me more aware of what I do. So, say for example, I'll be turning up. Like my life ain't perfect. I still got things that I feel I need to work on, but I know it's like a testimony. So when I'm doing these things, I'm getting more aware of who's watching. Before I didn't. I would just live my life drunk. I'm like tripping, posting whatever on my story. But now I'm looking at it like, dang, I have a voice now. A lot of people are watching my stories. I said, I feel like I have to hold myself accountable. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just about me anymore. People are watching my moves. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I get up and I work out, but I'm inspiring someone else. They're influenced by my actions. And it makes me even go even harder about that. And I love when I get like good messages about like, man, I love to see your grind, bro. I see where you started, man, the glow up, whether it's me buying a car and everything. It's like I put in that work. People are seeing this and they're influenced. Like, man, you influence me. And it's like, all right, I need to step my game up even more. I need to, you know what I'm saying? I want to tighten up more and more for y'all. Like, you know, let me work out harder and, you know, transfer.
Because people are also positively affected by those things too. When they see you working out, they see you eating right. They're like, oh, damn, hey, hitting you in the DMs. Can you tell me where that place was that you ate? You know, what kind of salad was that? You know what I mean? Because now it's more, you can use that in a more of a positive way and be more in control of what you give to people. You know what I mean?
And that's so true. It's you can use it for good or you can use it for bad. And I love it, man.
And I'm not, and just don't think because I'm dropping a couple of little gems here and there, I'm not completely, you know, negative on the aspect of influence. We obviously have a way and ability to make positive influences. But I think the solution that I think is important to emphasize is that, you know, we need to start from a place of organic authenticity. We need to really be real about who we are, our pros and our cons, our attributes and our flaws. See, when you do that, then we start to have the right type of energy that's resonated. See, people try to control their energy all the time. They want to, you know, go on some type of social media and show off how they just got off of a jet that their homie just rented, or they want to show and flash off, you know, their jewelry and this and that. Those are all very nice things, but those are superficial things. And the energy can come across to a very superficial mindset as something that's not necessarily genuine or authentic.
Most people have the superficial mindset, though.
Because
it's something they can see.
It's something that they can see, and it's also they haven't been taught depth. They haven't been engaged by somebody who actually challenges them. You know, when people want to try and come and argue with me about politics, I just pick a side. I pick a side and go after the opposite side that they're on just to help them expand their fucking mind. Because at the end of the day, it's not about who's right or wrong. It's about the fact that you learned something. Did you grow as an individual, or did you sit here and run your mouth and not gain anything? Like my uncle and auntie used to do, playing dominoes and shit.
Through the nighttime.
through the nighttime. Come over here, baby. Do the shuffle butt. What? Huh? So all I'm saying is that if we really focus on being organic and authentic, we will exude the right type of energy. No more than what you just said, Weez, about the ability for you to just train hard and work hard and let that energy transfer through whatever medium you decide to use. It doesn't even always have to be social media. It could be somebody just watching you go in and out of the gym. You know, they're sitting there trying to get themselves right, but you motivate them just because you show up, and that one day you don't show up, they're kind of like,
what's going on?
Oh, what happened? Did he fall off? Did something not go right? So we got to get back to an organic place and not just focus on these devices and things that we hold in our hands, but we got to focus on the mentality that we bring to the table, even doing stuff like this podcast.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I feel like this here is making it aware, you know what I mean? Because so many people have this in their subconscious, and their subconscious is being destroyed because of the social media, the things that you don't think about that you do, that you're addicted to. That's your subconscious, you know? And people don't even understand that. Like through the things you think about, you seeing all these booty shakings, you seeing all of this gang banging, you seeing all of this ride down. I be getting in people's cars, bro, like what the hell do you be listening
I'm
to?
trying to, I feel like I'm getting older too. I'm like, come
bro.
on now. I'm looking at the youngest like, this is what you listening to? What is this about? But
bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. I wish I knew this song, bro. But the dude was talking about he was going in messing with some chick. He going in, he's such like a goon that he going in and eating the baby snacks. Like that's how much of a goon he
Sheesh.
Like that's how crazy he is, you know what I'm saying? He's eating baby snacks, you know what I'm saying? Like he just don't care. He's just out here.
He's in it,
I'm just like, where would this ever be anything that ever made it on the radio back then, man? We need to get back to that, man. Giving people that real music, man. Real music, real vibes, real aura.
Yep. That's what
people are afraid of connection. So
that's what we're missing. It's getting too deep. I mean, when you look at music, you know, lyrics and everything, all I hear is a nice beat, and I hear narcissist. Hey, that's what I hear. Because you're not really offering anything. And then when somebody reacts to that energy, it only inflates you even more. We do have to get back to, again, that authenticity and what we're really about. And I think if we continue to promote the things that matter, that help the human race grows, unified, we'll start to see all the things that we're trying to achieve.
Yeah, people see right through that too. Like, and even on social media, like they see that authenticity, and people like to follow that real, because they know you can't hide to an extent, but you can't. People see that, like, man, this dude's real. What he's saying, what he's about, like I connect with that. Like even with certain rappers that I listen to, I gotta you gotta sell me enough. I gotta believe what you're saying.
Come on now,
you know what I'm saying? You make me believe. I'm influenced because you're grinding. You're saying all of it in your songs, and you're living proof of it.
Come on.
You're grinding. I like that. That's the authenticity of it. And I was like, that's who I follow. I follow the real ones. And then it's like the cap. Like say for instance, 6ix9ine. Like he's capping. What he's doing on he's influencing a lot of. I put it like this: there's people that really come from the trenches. There's a small percent of people that really going through it, but then there's 90% of people that never been to the trenches. They don't know what's going on, so they can see 6ix9ine. He's fooling the 90% of people.
That's
like, I'm in Chicago, but you're in Chicago with 30 security guards all around the block, but you just got an Instagram video capping when you're on O Block in their hood. Like, what's up? I'm in Chicago. Where y'all at? But they don't see the other side of it. Now you just influence everybody. You're like, man, this is, you know what I'm saying?
But that video was also shot 3 weeks ago.
Exactly.
You know
and that's the art of war. You're close. Be close when you're, be far when you're near, close when you know what I'm saying? But
absolutely.
It's just the art of war. And you're just doing this on social media. So and people are really back there typing the hype. Like, man, he's really in Chicago, but they don't know what's going on. Like, he's a troll.
Speaking of hype, let me hype something up real quick. I want to give a shout out to the ladies of luxury. That is luxury.com. Luxury.com. That is luxury.com. What they're going to give you is some skincare. They're going to give you some things for your hair. And they're going to give you some things that you put on your body when you're bare. Just get to luxury.com.
We need to throw a beat on that. I like how that sounded. You rhyme that real well. Talking about rap, but you might need to throw you in the studio, Plaga. Come on.
Hey, come on now.
Ear.
You know.
Put it ear.
Speaking of, let's make sure we don't forget about our Let's Eat menu, man. This is what we're here for, to help grow our people, help give them another opportunity, another way, learn new things, open your mind to different opportunities, to growth and wealth and legacy and planning and coming over here to get the sampler, man. We had a bunch of different menus here on the line. You know what I mean? We got the sampler.
We're gonna take care of you. We're gonna get you fed.
We'll come over here and get you fed, man. Let's get you. Let's discover your passion. Let's figure out what you really want to do. You know what I mean? That's kind of in the sampler. Here, drop it over to the appetizer. You know, to come over here to develop a little business concept. You know, come up with some structure about what you want to do. You know what I mean? We're going to figure out what you want to do. You know, after that, we'll help you develop a little model that'll help you get that same concept you thought about, put it into reality, help you push that
level.
You know what I mean? But that also requires another level. That's stuff that's value meal type stuff.
Got you.
You know what I mean? You don't get that at the beginning. You know what I mean? You wouldn't get that at the buffet. You don't get the dessert first.
Right.
Over here, to finish up, we got our buffet. That's kind of where we finish and develop the deals. The deals develop, and we learn how to create that legacy, that develop that wealth, that building that wealth, that planning.
That long-lasting paper.
Come on, man.
Everlasting. Got you.
That's generational.
Because that's what we're all about. We're all about the right type of influence. So the things that he just described with the Let's Eat menu will give you that opportunity to do it right. We're going to help you not only get right with your mind, but we help you get right with your finances too. And we believe in all that. We believe in mind, body, and soul. And we're going to add that pocket so you can go. And at the end of the day, what we're trying to really do for you is just get you to the next level. And we believe in that. And that's what career education is all about.
Yeah, let's learn. Let's
and whatever level you're at, there's always another level up.
Yeah.
No matter who you are, where you are, you can always get better. You can always get tighter.
It's always. And we're going to put a link in the description, below. We'll have links where you can go and, get fed. You know what I'm saying? Let's eat. Let's get to that bread, It was a great episode of, career education, man. That's good on influence. And, we're going to tap into many different topics too. So, next week is Let's Eat edition. So let's talk about that money. 'Cause I know everybody love money now.
Come on now. That's where we sharpen
but
up.
you love money. I love money.
That's where we
I need
sharpen
some
up.
more wave, but
Come
you know
on
what I'm
now.
saying? Take money to get that
Speaking
too.
of, let's go ahead. Shout out to Day for Day's products. On Instagram, Day DAIDAIS_products. Day on Facebook. You know what I mean? We got hit you with some of that beard oil. I know you see me over here sharp. That light hit me right. You know what I'm saying?
Uncle Sonny,
hit them with the, make sure they tap in all the way. We swim all days of the week, and
no permit.
Come on, we straight here busting the law wide open, but it's cool. And we shout out to one of them ones. You know what I mean?
Sir.
Shout out to one of them ones, my boy Weezy over there.
Merch on my site, Steff Weezy at Steff Weezy.
Shout out to Sweat Equity. We going up, man. My boy Kunle, happy birthday again.
Yeah.
And, we out.
Yep, we out of here, man.
Love it.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Appreciate everybody, man. Y'all keep this thing going. And leave a comment and let me know how y'all feel. What y'all want to learn about, man? What y'all want to know? What y'all want to talk about? We're gonna have way more coming, man. We got special guests coming. We got a lot of heat for y'all. We got a lot of special guests coming. We got a lot.
Don't do it.
I ain't gonna give it too much.
There's
a lot coming, man.
Well, let me do my thing because you know how we do it. Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
We out.